Welcome to another episode of B.A.G Combos, aka the B.A.G Podcast. This ain't no whole shit. This is a platform that I wanted to create to have great conversations where we discuss just about anything. Relationships, real life, food, music, even that demon time. Yeah, I'm out here now. I'm trying to live my best life. I need a vacation though.
Yes, vacations are needed. They sure are.
I see you had a couple though.
Yes, I went to St. Lucia, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico. Gladly.
Wow. See, I'm trying to do stuff like that. That's different.
You should. Life is short.
True, but then it was always money for me. It was either move in or go on vacation. And I was like, I could have did both, but I was just like, one, that would just not been the greatest thing to do. And the timetable just didn't make the best sense. And also it wouldn't have looked great. Not for me. Not saying it would have looked great for me, but like, oh, so you moving and you going on vacation? Oh, all right. I see how it is. So I just let it. I was like, all right, moving in and the job is good enough for me right now. But I'm trying to do something. Probably like end of October.
Yeah, you should. You should always try to find a balance between, like work and relaxation. I feel like it's important.
Yeah. But we're gonna get started. One, thank you for being here. We know that you're a busy woman, hence why you're on this episode tonight. But it's if you don't know now, I'm the co-host. I'm the host, excuse me. West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I didn't spend most of my days. I like Legos, so I build those. We have my co-host, and then we'll get into our special guest today. My co-host is, as I like to call him, Mr. Sharfo, but for whatever reason, he believes he has AKAs. So, AKA
Sid the Kid.
AKA
Sid the Science Kid.
AKA
Future Doc on the block.
Are we finished, or you got some new ones?
Not today.
Oh, okay. All right. We got a special guest in the building. I'll let her introduce herself. She has a laundry list of accomplishments, achievements, whatever you want to call them. Businesswoman out here, entrepreneur, and she the same age as us, bro. Like, come on now. What more could you ask? I'll let you introduce yourself.
I appreciate that. Thank y'all for having me. I am Candace Peterkin. I am the founder of a media company by the name of She Is Art. I also went to school with Sean and Sydney. All of us are graduates of Fayetteville University. I recently graduated with my master's in management. I'm also a founder of an empanada company that is growing, and I'm very grateful for that. So, still young and still trying to learn as much as I can. That's who I am.
Empanadas. Wow, thank you for that. Like I said, laundry list of just wonderful accomplishments, and so much is left ahead of you. You're only 23, right? You only turned 24.
Yeah. Not yet.
Yeah. Right. So it's like we doing great things out here, man. That's just inspiring people, doing wonderful things. Mind you, all of this was thought about what, your junior year? You started the entrepreneurship your junior year?
Yeah. So She Is Art was started my junior year, and my empanada business was started during the height of COVID. So that was like senior year. Yeah, senior year. I think, yeah. The ending of senior year, yeah.
Where did that come from, the empanadas?
That, it's so funny because I love to cook. That's just innate. I think it's something that my mom passed down to me or something. I don't know. But I love empanadas. I'm in love with them. And I was like, you know what? I used to just make empanadas for fun, when it was like family functions and things of that nature. And everybody was like, oh my God, these empanadas are fire. And I would literally put anything in empanadas. And, one day I was like, you know what? There was this girl who went to school with us and she started making cookies, and she kind of gave me inspiration to start my own page. I was like, okay, people selling cookies on Instagram. Who says I can't sell empanadas, Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes that's how it be. I thought about some shit like that, but I was like, that's a lot of work. Not even like it's a lot of work, but it's just like I'm the type of person that like I'm not trying to cook for that many people at a particular time, because you could get a flow and then people be like, yo, what's up with the food? And then you just like, I'm not feel like cooking for this many people today.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes. You just gotta know what you're doing, be prepared, and set yourself up.
Yeah. Miss Sarfo, I see. I mean, for the people watching on YouTube, they saw Miss Sarfo. So what was that you were sipping, Miss Sarfo?
Taylor Port.
Oh wow! Somebody's trying to. Okay, it's
Okay.
It's Tuesday, bro. Come on, it's
just
Tuesday.
Leisurely.
Just a little sip. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney said he woke up at like what? You said 5? So
I woke up 3:45. I didn't get out of bed till 4:15. But
wow, I can't blame you. Take your sips then.
I just do this leisurely. Like I don't. Every now and then I'll do it for the sake of like getting a certain way, but it's more so for leisure. I feel like I might end up doing this when I'm older.
Yeah,
I'm just tight because I don't got no ice.
Oh, yeah.
The ice machine is broken. It's not making no ice. Because my fridge got the ice maker. So it's not making no ice for some reason.
Yeah.
Still good by itself.
It'd be like that, bro. You just gotta drink it straight, bro. But the reason why we're here, outside of the wonderful conversation, our topic tonight is as some people like to say, the root of all evil, money. I don't necessarily think of it in that light. It can provide people with great things, but if you do too much of it or use too much of it, it can be for that. But everything works well in moderation and control. But that's just what we're going to talk about. And I know you have wonderful experience with that because obviously you're running 2 companies. I believe 3, right?
For right now, it's just 2 that I'm actively running. Yeah.
Okay, so look at that, running 2 companies at 23 years old.
Yes, sir.
But I'm Mr. Sarfo, you look quiet over there. I'm gonna let you get it going with the topic tonight.
So like our gracious host told us, we're talking about money today, and it's just not just about money. We're gonna stem other parts like being an entrepreneur. Different motivations in terms of financial goals, how to be smart with your money, because, a lot of us are young, like to buy certain stuff for ourselves and treat ourselves or treat other people, which is sometimes worse. So just learn how to be smart with your money. And we're going to try and give, even though we're all about the same age, we haven't really fully experienced life, we're going to give our best advice in terms of handling money and, being smart with your money, saving money, however y'all see it. But we're going to start with just a few general questions or icebreakers. We kind of usually do this for most topics, but I came up with some, and we're going to have our guests answer them. Well, we're going to ask them one at a time, but we're going to have our guest, Candace, answer first. What is your biggest piece of advice or your biggest rule when it comes to your money, like handling your money or just having money?
My biggest piece of advice when it comes to handling money.
Either advice or like a rule you have for yourself in terms of like your own money.
I'd say to myself, like all the time, is that I need not to attach any emotions to my money. I think when I think of money as just a tool, I think a little bit clearer. And, I think when you look at it as a tool, you make it resourceful. And so once it becomes a resource, I then start to figure out, okay, like, how's this helping me? Like, what can this do to help me? And so allocating money where I feel like it needs to go in its proper places, definitely allows me to just see the purpose of money and what that tool is being used for. So again, like, just not attaching any emotions to it, like not thinking, oh my God, like money did this to me, or money is not allowing me to have this, or money is, like all those different attachments that are associated with money. I try to not have that. And I think once I do, it allows me to have a clearer understanding of what money is and what it's really used for.
Do you have that same like frame of reference when it comes to just like business moves and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think, just emotions, like having emotional intelligence, which is something I learned in grad school. It's really important, whether it be just in life, in business, when it comes to money, just understanding how your emotions can allow you to have a more blurred vision is important, because, you get to see things differently. You get to operate a little bit different. So for sure, even in my business, I try to have my emotions set aside as much as possible.
I personally, my advice is very just like, I'm kind of if you need it, get it. I need to work on this personally, but it's like I'm not a person who really uses money in a sense of wants or needs and stuff. And that's kind of just based on my style and just how I do stuff or whatever. Yeah. But it's just like I when I have certain goals and stuff, it's just like, all right, cool. This is how I get certain things. And the way I was taught about money, which was like, it was hard lessons, but I told the story on previous episodes before, but basically my mom was like, look, you can only spend $1 once. So from that, as a kid, you just like, all right, yeah, money is money. You don't really necessarily think about it, especially if let's just say certain adults in your life got it or whatever. You kind of just like, all right, I can use this, or like I can just ask for it because you always got it. But until that like conversation comes where either you're old enough or you're young enough and they got to hit you with that, like, all right, look, I don't got it right now. And as a kid, sometimes you handle that properly, sometimes you don't, or whatever. And I just was like, all right, cool. You can't spend this once I got it and I spend it, it's gone. And then it's like, all right, now if you want something, go and get it. So it's like, I'm the type of person where it's like, if it's something I want or it's something I gotta get, I won't do anything I want until I necessarily get that like main thing or whatever. And it's like, the reason why I say I gotta work on it, because like a lot of times it'll be like my aunt will sit there and tell me like, you gotta like do stuff. Cause like I'm the type of dude, I can have $1 million in my bank account and then somebody be like, yo, let's take this trip. And I'm like, nah, I mean, I gotta do this over here real quick. Let me get that 1.2 and then we can talk or whatever. That's just how I think about it. But it's just like, one, everything works well in moderation. One, you gotta work hard, play harder. So it's like you get some money or whatever, but you still gotta do stuff with it later versus just trying to like work all the time, trying to get that number even higher and higher, because you could get that number higher and miss out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I would just touch on that too, Sean, because I think what you said is really important. I think that's how it is for a lot of people, especially in the Black community. It's like, okay, like we are taught to work for money. And I think what we haven't been taught is to make money work for us. And I think when we have money work for us, we decide, or we can be in that like mindset of just like, we can be at peace because we know that regardless if we're working or not, that money is working, you know, like, I remember you were saying like you are more so like more reserved and you want to make sure that your money is growing and you don't be taking trips like that. I think it's important too because money is always going to come back, but your time isn't, you know.
Yeah.
So prioritize to just live life in the best possible way because money is a surplus. It's not limited to you. It's going to come to you, and money just has to be your worker. Like you don't, you know.
That's what I'd be thinking about because I'd be like, the more and more shit grow now that I have financial stability and people don't try to run my pockets. I'm just saying we have a conversation here. The more and more I get, or now that I am financially stable, unless like I have the opportunities to save, fortunately, God willing. I like I was literally thinking about this today. I'm like, if I get this to a certain point, then what?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to? Because, like, yes, I understand the investing world and stuff like that. And I know a little bit about day trading and stuff like that, which can be risky, but it's better to do long-term trading and shit like that. But the long-term trades are more expensive. Yeah, that whole thing. So it's like, and I gotta get to a certain point money-wise before I like am comfortable with like risking another set of like money and stuff like that. And I'm like a year or two out from like real estate. So I'm not even gonna like play with that type shit as a source of money to like work for me. But it's like I was already like the second check, I was like, damn, taxes is fucked up. And on top of taxes being fucked up, now I gotta think about like this can't just be my only source of income. Cause it's like you need more. Granted, it plays into the like the weird shit of like I try and grow the money, but not necessarily do shit with it. But it's just like I know once I get to a certain point, I can't just be like, then what? I gotta be able to then what, and then be like, all right, well now I could do it over here, do some stuff over here, then grow it even more. Then it'll get to a point where I'm just like comfortable.
Yep.
Because I'm not seeking generational wealth at this point. And probably later on in my life, once I have kids, see that future type shit. But right now, it's just me. I can help who I can help. But right now, we just solo dolo, just trying to live life right now. So that's just how it is right now. So it's like, I'm not like, all right, business move, generational wealth, stuff like that. I'm just trying to get to a personal place of getting comfortable. Maybe in my 30s and shit, I might be like, all right, hey, let me throw this in that company or let me throw something in here or stuff like that. But right now, I'm just chilling. I'm cool. I got to the one goal of my life, and that's get an apartment and get a job. So we'll go back to the drawing board and get to the next steps. But we chilling right now.
Both great pieces of advice. For me, I'm kind of the background where it's like, regardless of how much money you have, you feel like it's gonna be gone the next day. Just from my family, and just like stuff we had to deal with. So I've just been like of the attitude like I kind of don't really spend that much, especially on myself, or especially on like experiences. If I buy some, it's really just like material. Like my favorite thing to buy for myself is shoes, but I still sparingly buy shoes unless I see a deal or see something like I probably won't be able to get for that price. And even then, I'm just like, I don't think I should get it. But like I guess it's not really advice because I didn't really do this before. Something I want to do is like spend more money on experiences. I want to travel more. I don't really travel. I never really did.
Yeah.
First time I really traveled like of my own accord was spring break my senior year. I actually went to Puerto Rico, which is pretty fun. So after that trip, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, I would do this more often if I had the funds to do it. And like, as stressful as is planning for it, is if you really plan for it and have intent to go, it's really not that difficult to do as long as you plan ahead and do it. But I just feel like I don't take the initiative to plan ahead and do it, and then I'm just like, oh, then I get older, I don't go, and then it's like, oh, where have you been? I'm like, I've been to Boston and neighboring northeastern states, and then I happened to go to Puerto Rico one time. So
tired of seeing people on flights, bro.
Because it's like, it's not like I'm broke. It's not like I can't go. It's just like I just sometimes I just don't have like the drive to like, all right, I want to go to X place. I want to go around X time. If I book a flight now, it's going to be like half the price if I wait like later. And then I can get a hotel X amount of time, get this discount, whatever. And then if I want to spend anything there, everything else I just save for the sake of the trip. Yeah. So it's just a matter of planning. So
it ain't the drive for me. It's just I do mental math every day. I be sitting there like, all right, if I take this trip right now, that's probably about like put away 1,500 for that. All right, flight might be 3 both ways. You gotta think about the hotel. You got spending money, then getting around money. Then I just be like, I could keep that account.
Sean, you sound like the dad from Everybody Hate Chris.
Exactly. That's why I'm like,
that's how it be. And this what I'm saying. This adds to like the whole money conversation. You say something to me, I'm doing mental math. If you're like, all right, let's go out to happy hour. I'm like, all right, bet. Let me look at my account, open up Wells Fargo, look at this shit. All right, bet. I got this. All right, well, I could put it out like 50 for the happy hour. If I go over 50, then it's like, it's the problem. I don't like that. I ain't gonna want to see that. Then I might got to transfer some shit from my savings and all that to make it look good.
I do that whenever I get paid.
I'm telling you, it's a game every day, bro. When I do that, you could literally be like, let's go to McDonald's. I'm like, all right, can I spare this $10 real quick? Let me put this 10 over here or whatever. Or like, I'm the type of dude that's like, if I got like 205, I'd be like, all right, let me use that $8 just so the 200 is still looking nice. I ain't trying to go below the 200 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So for me, I don't like when my money go below a certain point. If I have a certain amount of money and I have to pay if I have to get some stuff, and it's just like, if I spend that, I'm gonna be at this point. And it's not to a point where like it's bad or it's like I'm in a red zone. It's just like I don't like that number. Like I like where I was at before. So like say this is like a this is not the snare I'm in now, but it's like say like my savings is like 10 grand. I need to buy a laptop. Laptop gonna run you about $1,000 or more. I will not buy the laptop until I have 12 grand.
Yeah, because you're like,
I'm not about to go to 9. I'm just at 10. Like I'm not about to go back to 9. I don't care if it's 9. Like I'm staying at 10. Bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Like, it's crazy. I read a book. One of the books that actually helped me just gain a stronger sense of financial literacy is called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. And one thing that he talks about is how limiting we can be on ourselves. And it all just takes a particular formula, and it depends on the formula you want to follow and what you feel works best for you. But I kind of follow his formula because I find it works good for me. Yeah. So, every month I have money going into my retirement accounts. I have money going into my savings accounts. I have money going into the different investments that I have. And so all that other money that I have left over is just whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's like, at least I know I've allocated my money to go to things that are, long-term, that will help my money make money. And so I'm not really worrying about okay, like, damn, you know, what happens if I spend this or what happens?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like guilty because I know that I've done my due diligence in making sure that my money is secure in one particular space. And,
True. See,
so
that's probably
it's all about how you want to work it. It's all about how you
true.
want to work it.
That's probably because you know how to make your money work for you. I see my shit just sitting there right now because I'll do that same exact thing. Be like, all right, pay the bills, put some in the savings, and now the rest of it is just do whatever the fuck money. But then I'm like, I could
I'm
add
not
this to the
spending that.
savings though.
Yeah,
I could add
exactly.
this to the savings
Exactly.
or whatever. Or you see something and you
Yeah.
like, all right, well, I could buy this, but then it's like, I'll just
It's
wait.
like it'd be dumb. It's like you can put it to the savings, and then later that week you realize you kind of needed to spend that, and then it's like, now I gotta take out the savings.
Yeah, no, that's why you have emergency funds. Build that emergency fund up to the point where you don't have, like, if some shit happens, because life happens, you literally put as much, some people say you can put as much in your emergency fund as, like, let's say your expenses every month is like 1,500 or whatever, right? You build up a safe cushion enough for your savings account, 3 months worth. And now, like, again, whatever that money you have left over is for, you use it on whatever, So that's why it's really important for me, at least, to make sure that I have these particular filters and like that this money is going here and I'm making it my business because I want to live my life,
Yeah, I only do that when people around. If I'm by myself, because I'm a homebody. I'm like the active homebody. Like if you get me going, then like I could be out. But if I'm chilling by myself, I'm okay with chilling by myself. I could get my food on Saturday, come back to the crib, watch something, and chill, and I'll be happy as fuck. But also, if you like, yo, let's go out somewhere, and then we go out, I'm like, all right, cool, it's lit. But then at the end of the night, I'm like, all right, cool. All right. I could afford it. I could afford it. Because also, I don't do nothing that I can't afford, so to say. It's like I'm not going out and I got fucking $20 left. And I'm like, all right, I'll go out with this last $20. Like, no, I feel like that's a whole different territory of just like a money conversation. That's just like mind-boggling to me, because if I don't got the money, I ain't even gonna call it pride. I'm just the type of person where it's like I'm not going to go out and expect somebody else to like pay for me. If it's a situation where it's like, all right, you're a mentor or you're like an adult or like older family member, then it's like, okay, cool, that's kind of just like normal. But if it's just like, all right, the gang, and then I'm not, I would literally tell, and Sid knows, whether I have 100 or 500 in my pocket right now, if I don't want to spend that, or if I got something else to do, then I'll be like, all right, I see y'all. Y'all come back here. We could do I'm the kickback nigga. I'm the free kickback nigga. We pick a spot, we get some games, and we get some alcohol. We sit here. We don't need to go to a club. I don't need to pay $30. Till this day, I have yet to pay any entry fee to get into a club. I've maybe been to like, I want to say 5, 6 in my lifetime, but I have yet to pay. One time I snuck past the guy. Another time, any other time they just did not charge. But if somebody says, "Oh, there was one time," But if any other time somebody's like, "Oh yeah, it's such to get in," I'm like, all right, I'll see y'all. See y'all next time.
What you paying for people to step on your sneakers, for some loud ass music, for some drinks that you could have at home? I'm starting to learn that. I'm really starting to learn that. Like my boyfriend, he's more so a homebound person than I am, and I take each other out in that way because I'm like, oh, let's go out. We've been in this house way too long. But then he's also like, no, like we need to be a little more frugal and like stay inside. So I think it's important. Like it depends on who that person is, what their kind of like, I like to do this is like, so yeah, you're right. I think I'm starting to develop that a little bit more for myself too.
I mean, homebody is a good thing. It's a good thing and a bad thing. But like for me, I gotta learn to like do stuff because like I'm I'm about to be in a couple of days. I'll be 2 months in here, and probably like this past weekend, I was just like, I enjoy what I'm doing, but I feel like I'm not doing enough. Like I feel like I'm not. Like one of my coworkers was like, all right, we're done for the day. Well, I'm done for the day. I'm going to a happy hour. You should too. And I was like, I'm like, it's Tuesday. And she's just like, so I'm going to one Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I'm sitting like, in my head, I'm just like, that's a lot of money. Not like it's a lot of money, but it's just like, damn, I don't want to spend that right now. Instead of like, all right, hit my niggas up and then just like go out or whatever, go out. So it's just like, all right, yes, I now, like I said earlier, I've reached a goal. Now I'm in a state to where I can relax and enjoy myself before I start getting back into the goal-oriented mindset of like, all right, what's the next degree? What's the next plan or move or whatever? So it's like, enjoy it while I can before I get back to like, all right, work hard, play harder mindset or whatever. So it's just a matter of like I said, find that balance, do what you got to do, but just don't be spending crazy stuff out here. We got it's the spectrum. I feel like it's either you, the person. I feel like in the Black community, it's very few people who find that balance. And then it's the people who just don't spend nothing and don't do anything. And then the people who just will literally spend their last dime to do any and everything.
It's true.
Regardless.
It's true. And it's unfortunate. You know, I won't lie. At one point, I think back in freshman year, like I was that person who was spending money I didn't even have. And when I tell you, I racked up so much credit card debt freshman year because I'm like, no, like I need to go. Like I need to do this. I need to go, you know? And bruh, I'm very happy by junior year. When junior year came around, I gained some more sense and I learned a little bit more about like just credit cards and, you know, using them and the interest and all of that. So I think, you just have to, I think detach any emotions that you might have to money, because a lot of people, you know, the reason why they have this thrill to do it because they feel like money is holding them back from enjoying life in general, you know. So removing them attachments is important.
We got a lot long-winded with this question. It's a great question though, but we're gonna ask one more. We're gonna ask one more. There's one more, and I just want I'm curious more about this than the other. What is something you bought for yourself that you immediately regretted / wish you could return or wish you never got? Food. Recent or within your life? I'd have to think about this.
Food. You ever just get a meal and you was mad excited for that shit, and then it just be crusty, and you just like, damn, I just spent all my money on this, bro.
No, I definitely feel you on that. You know what's crazy? I used to hear people say, "Oh, you shouldn't spend all your money on food." And for me, back in the day, I was like, "Wow, how people spend all their money on food?" But as I'm adulting, I'm like, I realize people want to go out for brunch, people want to go out for lunch, they want to go out for happy hour. Like they just don't want to cook, you know? And so I realized that food is definitely something that people spend money on crazy. And, you know, that would have to be second for me. But what would be first for me would have to be like clothes. Jesus, I have so much clothes and shoes that like at one point I had so much clothes and shoes. And I literally, there would be stuff with tags on them still, and I have yet to wear them. And I was just like, I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of I literally was like, I have to get rid of all of this. And you know, it's crazy because I was at one point, you know, getting money, and I was literally spending all of that money on clothes, and I don't even wear it now. And I think what I've taught myself is like, Candace, you need to make sure whatever you're spending your money on, you can see it long term. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see clothes long term because I might grow out of that style. So me and clothes now, we kind of like our relationship is not the same. I'll literally wear something that I wore 2 weeks ago and don't give a fuck because I'm like, it's just a piece of clothing. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather invest my money in something that I know is going to make me more money. I'd rather pay off my debt because I know I'll be interest free. Like, I'm like, girl, be more strategic with that money because you're not trying to regret it, you know? Put that money in something smart.
So when it came to like the clothes, what you just thought you could wear stuff twice, or you just like wanted, you saw something, you liked it?
Yeah, it was like that because I had this like, I was like, okay, I'm this different type of person. Like I have a different type of style. And so anything that like I felt matched my eye or matched the particular style that I had to get it. If it had a particular pattern, I had to have it. If it had some type of funky colors, I had to have it because I'm like, this is me, you know? And I attached myself or I identified myself in clothes. And that was just so bad, you know? Yeah. So I had to remove that attachment.
I feel like I've never seen you wear the same thing twice, though.
You know, it's funny because now, if you see me nowadays, you might catch me in the same outfit that you saw me in last week, but that's okay. You know, that's okay.
Look, I was never ashamed of that one. If you, shit, y'all always see me. It'd be different combinations. Y'all be like, oh, he brought out this one this month or whatever. Or like every 3 weeks or whatever. Like people got snaps of me with the same outfit on. I'm like, look, these clothes is going in rotation. I ain't buying. I don't know the last time I bought me a pair of clothing. The last time I bought me clothing was almost probably a year ago now. And I didn't even buy it. It was a gift. So even before that, I don't know when I bought clothing. Because it's like jeans. I don't really wear jeans unless I'm going to an event or going out. So I got 5 pairs of jeans in rotation. Sweatpants on deck. So it's like when I'm just doing nothing, I got sweatpants out the ass. I don't need no more. When I go to the gym, I got mad shorts. I got shirts. And I might gotta diversify my business attire, my business casual attire. But other than that, like I just don't be seeing a need. And y'all know me with the Adidas shit. I'm also just a person who like if I'm buying something, I gotta either extremely want it or it has to be worth it. I'm not about to buy no Adidas shirt that just say fucking Adidas on it and it'll be $60. I'm like, no, this joint gotta have a design on it, gotta look nice. I gotta fuck with it. But if it's just like a regular shirt like this and it just got the symbol on it, you selling it for $40, then I'm like, nah. Same thing with shoes. I'm a size 14. So it's hard to find shoes of that size anyway. So it's just like, even if I find a shoe, then they be like, we only got it at 13 or whatever. So it's like, the desire for just to buy clothes has just kind of left just based on me being, all right, I only wear American, I'm not exclusive to American Eagle, but I usually wear American Eagle. I'm exclusive to Adidas or whatever, but any and everything else, like, the only time I bought like fashionable shit is probably when I went with my aunt Christmas shopping and we were going Nordstrom's and shit.
Yeah.
And buy the stuff discounted and all that type of shit. My little Ted Baker jacket and all that. And most of the time I just be like, yo, I don't want to pay for this. And then she'll just be like, sometimes you just got to treat yourself. If it look nice and you want it, buy it. Sometimes clothes are an investment. But it's just
I said that to myself one too many times.
For some things, I get it. But like the everyday stuff, to me, my biggest thing is just I don't think it's worth what it is. So it's just like I just stray away from buying shit. But I'll let Sid go to answer this question because I don't necessarily have an answer to what was the last thing I bought and regretted.
I can't really think of anything, to be honest. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is the last thing I really bought for myself that was a decent amount of money was my bed set.
That's important.
I know it's important, but I'm kind of mad now because, like, I was just informed that we're going to be moving soon. So now I got to figure out how to take this shit apart.
I told you to wait. I told you multiple times.
No one
wait,
told me we
bro.
was moving.
Okay, but I still told you to wait though.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm glad I have it now because like if I decide to move out, like I have it, but it's like it's just annoying because now I like set it up the way I like, and now.
But this is what I told him. I was like, look, if you get the bed set, what if you get a crib and the bed set just don't match? And we're not at that point in life to where it's like, all right, I got this guest room. We just gonna put it in the guest room. Right. We ain't at that yet, unless you just gonna come out the gate buying a house. So it's like that's the way I saw my shit now. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, this set is pricey, but I could use this set. I could hold this set for a minute. And once I get a house, this could be guest room, child's room, whatever. Yeah. And I could get my shit for the master room, whatever, later on. But I was like, bro, you don't know where you about to be at in a minute. Not saying that the move shit was exclusive at that point, but at the time, I'm saying when you was looking for a potentially would look for an apartment.
This is true. At the time that I bought it, it was like I was under the impression I wasn't moving anytime soon. Two, I bought a set that's pretty neutral that I feel like would fit in any household or apartment. Okay. The only thing that's different colored is the bed frame, which is navy, but I feel like that still fits most aesthetics. Everything else is just gray. Okay. I don't regret it. I like it. It's comfortable, and it's like it gives me more space. But it's just I don't want to take it apart in a matter of a month or two.
Putting this shit together was a pain in the ass.
I could imagine.
What was it? But what did I buy? I regretted it. I don't know. Everything I buy, I kind of make sure I like enough to buy it. Mm-hmm. I would probably say, again, this was a while ago, it was probably like a ring. But I knew I shouldn't have bought it because it was a gift. And I was kind of pressured into buying it.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I was just like, I shouldn't get it. It's bad luck. And they were like, you gotta get over this. Like, it's not that serious. And I was like, bad luck, I'm telling you. And then they're like, so I got it. And then a month later, it was kind of a waste.
Yeah.
So like,
you know, we all go there sometimes.
The backstories. I honestly don't know. I don't know the last big purchase I had prior to this. I could not tell you. Like I said, before last year when I got a gift of clothing, I couldn't tell you. Probably it was 2 years before, a year or so before that, where I bought myself clothes. So shit. The only thing I was really buying during the pandemic was DVDs. Because I'm a DVD guy, cartoon guy. So that's all I really bought during the pandemic. I know what I bought that I regretted. Some workout shit for myself in the pandemic. Is them like elastic bands or whatever that you like.
Regret that?
There was here's why. The resistance bands or whatever with the handles on it and all that shit, the different colors for the different intensity and all that. So one, I fell trapped to an Instagram ad. That's one. Now it was like, all right, get this for $12. I was like, all right, cool. We in the house. Can't really go to the gym. I don't feel like doing all this like body weight shit all the time. And I was just like, all right, cool. Let me buy it real quick. I bought it. I got it like 6 months later. I got it 6 months later. And on top of that, it was not to say that it wasn't what it was built to be, but it was just like half-ass. And I was just like, one, why is it? Because one, it was from somewhere in Asia. So
Yeah.
I was just like,
I
all
figured.
right.
I figured.
I was just like, all right, bro. Cause I literally checked on it and they was just like, oh, it's on back order or whatever. Or it was like, we'll get it to you. And then I just like forgot about it. And then one day it just came in the mail months later. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And it's the resistance bands. And I'm just like, wow. Okay. Granted, that was only $12, but I was just like, yeah, this is a waste of money.
Yeah.
Like I don't even need this anymore. Like the gyms are
Mhm.
open. This is pointless now. I tried to use it just to use it, but I was just like, all right, this is no, this is not it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah. We all have those times where you
Them,
spend money on
them
shit.
Instagram ads is stupid.
They
Man.
all
They
from
get you.
they all from China. Can't buy
They fake, bro. Didn't you buy like a logo or some shit one time?
Me?
Yeah.
The only thing I bought,
A logo. How you buy a logo?
Well, not a logo, but I think it was like I think I'm confusing this with something I heard somewhere else.
Oh.
I bought something.
I thought you
It didn't
bought
take
something.
that long. It didn't take that long to get to me.
Nah, don't fall to them Instagram ads, people. They disrespectful and they aren't real.
They get you for sure. They do.
The only one I think the bracelet one, I almost fell for that shit so many times. I was just like, no, I'm not about to buy it. The bracelet one where it's like the white and black one and it got the crown on it. The
I
like
know what you're
ball
talking
bracelet.
about.
Yeah, I wanted to buy that so many times, but but like you just like, all right,
Yeah.
do I really need this? Or
No.
like, is it something I really gotta get or whatever? Or it's like, even if I go and get it right or whatever.
Am I gonna get it on time?
Yeah. Cause what happened was in high school, I forget what they were called, but you remember them like bracelets, them like ball bracelets that had the string or whatever, but it had like the little fake jewel in the middle or
Yeah,
whatever.
I know
And niggas used to wear them and it had like little dangling Jones or whatever. I kind of wanted to get another one of them. I wonder where them things is at now. But I was trying to like recreate that type shit or whatever, but nah, I have not.
It didn't work.
I gotta accessorize myself with some jewelry. Other than
you should. Yes, you should.
You almost bought a chain when I was out there.
Look, man. She was a great saleswoman.
I almost got
yeah.
Nah, okay.
She was like, first of all, because she was like, look, I'm gonna show you the real stuff first, and then y'all could look at the other stuff. And she showed me something, and I was like, damn, this shit look good. I was like, how much is it? She was like, oh, right. She was like, you could leave with it for $89. And I was like, how much is it? She was like, oh, 8 something. I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, I'm the type of person that I want to pay either shit in full or like whatever. And she was talking about you could pay it like installments or whatever. And I was like, all right, okay. I'm thinking monthly. She said weekly installments of like 100 plus, like 80 to 100 plus dollars.
She said you can either do it weekly or monthly, but she basically said like if you wanted to pay it off if you wanted to pay it off that quick. Well, she said it's obviously better to pay it off quicker because she said if you pay it off in like 3 months, it's like interest free.
Well, yeah.
She was just like,
but she still was talking about like, all right, yeah, it's like $200 a month if you're trying to pay it off that quick. And I'm like, that doesn't make it better.
But yeah,
I mean, like, even if I did have it, nobody's still trying to pay that much on a weekly format or monthly format or whatever. But it was a good chain or whatever. But I was like, and when I'm ready to pay a majority of it or a good amount of it, then I will buy it. But my thing, the reason why I haven't got a chain before was I feel like shit that I do has to mean something. So it's like even my like tattoos, like I want more tattoos, but it's just like I don't want bullshit. So it's like same thing with the chains. Like I don't want a chain just to have a chain or because everybody got a chain on. It's like I want to have my own unique kind of chain or whatever. So
yeah, I feel like eventually when the time comes, you'll definitely, get a chain. Chains aren't going nowhere. So yeah, maybe it was a good sign to not get it yet.
Yeah, it was the price. It was the money thing again. That's why I didn't get it. If I was a frivolous dude, then I probably wouldn't like
Right.
Bucket.
Yeah.
But I had already bought some other shit that day. But it was cosmetic type shit, so nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm-hmm. 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 I feel
But
you.
so great answers. We have some questions for the guests. Yo, why you keep laughing at my transitions, yo?
I feel like you either just be like, all right, cool, we can move
Cool.
on now, or you're just like, all right, bet. That was a
That-
long ass answer, but let's go. It's the conversation, my guy. You know
I'm
the
just being
format.
real. But we brought our guest here for a reason, because of her unique background, having two businesses, um, countless accomplishments. And from her advice, she's clearly financially, aware. So we have some questions for you
Mhm.
in terms of how you handle your money or your financial goals or your business. The first one being, it's kind of redundant since we're all pretty young. We're all 23 years old, but just try and apply it to kids coming into college or
Okay.
coming out of high school. How would you advise like younger people to like build a healthy relationship with money? And you kind of already talked about this in terms of your rule, but
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to elaborate on it like specifically.
Yeah. So if I was to think about my younger days, or probably when I was a freshman, and just how I viewed money. Oh my gosh. I was really like making a lot of money and just spending it on anything, like literally anything, when I could have been investing. And I think that's probably one of my biggest regrets. It's like knowing that, like freshman year, I was getting refund checks from Fairfield, and literally all that money was just going and like coming in and going out. And so something that I advise like students or younger people to do is to one, not follow the hype. Like if you see your friends, if you see your people's like always going out, always eating, always doing this, always shopping, do not feel like you need to be a part of that, especially when your finances are not stable. You know what I'm saying? Like one, you're already young and you are probably either getting money from your parents or probably working. So all of that money, you have to be very frugal. You have to make it last, for a little while. And so I definitely would say like, don't follow what your friends are doing, because that's definitely a trap that I fell into. And I think that's what led me to like losing so much money, is because I felt like I always had to be a part of something. I always had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And lastly, I think what I said earlier is make your money work for you. Like you should view your money as like little workers. Like they should be making you money, so that when you're sleeping, you're making money, or when whatever you're doing, you're making money. It's not like you're ever like, oh my God, I have no money. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always a way for you to make money. And through that simply is by investing, like figure out ways in which that you can invest your money, right? It can be whether it just be in stocks, it could be whether it be in cryptos, it could be in a retirement account, it could be in just like different things. Or even if you wanted to put it in a savings account, make sure that savings account is a high yield savings account. Don't let your money just sit there. Sorry if y'all hear a dog in the background. But
Good.
yeah, but don't just don't let your money sit there. Like find a way for your money to be active.
Yeah.
Literally same way that you go and get up in the gym, you go to the gym, whatever it is, work out. Your money should be doing the same exact thing for you, so that you don't ever feel like there's a shortage of money, nor is there a shortage of supply. So it's like, so just always search, like try to read books. If you have no idea about investing, about money management, read, like go on YouTube. I swear to God, YouTube University is really a thing. Like YouTube teaches so fucking much. Like it's crazy. I've learned shit off of YouTube that I've never learned in my entire life. At school, like literally have a whole master's degree, whatever it is, I have not learned as much shit as I've learned as like, on YouTube. So YouTube is literally your best friend find somebody, like a channel that you're inspired by, somebody who has knowledge about money, and see if you can just follow or listen to what it is that they do, their patterns, adopt their patterns. Surround yourself with people who you think are a little bit more financially literate, who talk a little bit more about the future, who talk a little bit more about just making their money work for them, like whether it's like joining a finance club, have no idea, whatever it is, just find a way to be a bit more aware about money and the way that you handle it. Because if you do that while you're a freshman, oh my God, when you graduate, you are like soaring. You know what I'm saying? Like you already know where that money is going. You already know what to do with it. Because that's one thing. Like people can have money, they can make millions. But if you don't know what the fuck to do with those millions, it's pointless. You know what I'm saying? You're literally just making money, spending money, making money, spending money. Like you don't know what to do with it. And I see people with that all the time, making 6-figure salaries, but have no idea how to operate money. So it's like, learn those little things from early on, know?
People. Well, hold on. That's a bar, first of all. Do you know people with that type of money and they don't know how to use it?
Yes, sir. And I am trying to help them, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to allocate their money in ways in which that grows for them, because it's nice, it's nice to flaunt. Yeah, I make 6 figures, but if your 6 figures is just sitting there, it's not really doing much for you, like my goal is to retire at the age of like 45, right? Like I would never, like I would want to be a part of my different businesses. I want to be, managed, whatever, but I do not want to be working. Like I don't want to wake up and be like, oh damn, I have to go and work. And if I don't do this money's not coming. That's not my goal. My goal is to make my money, to make sure that my money is constantly coming. You know what I'm saying? It's just securing that. So just try to indulge yourself in ways to learn about handling money, especially coming from the Black community where oftentimes Black people are like, well, I just made this money, I got to go spend it, right? Because that's like, they don't have an abundance mindset. They're coming from like limited mindset, it's just like, and I think a lot of that comes when you don't know how to make your money grow for you. So if there's anything, people, definitely read some books, find some people who you're inspired by, who know how to manage money, and just stick with them.
What's a book you recommend in terms of,
Yeah. So for sure, the book that I said earlier, I want everybody to, like, literally me and Ramit, the guy who's the author, I like be texting him on Instagram, like, dude, you saved my life. I'm like sending him emails like, bro, you're the best. Like, so Ramit, he's dope as hell. You can even follow him on Instagram. I think his name is just Ramit Sethi. It's an Indian guy. But his book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, hands down, one of the best books I've ever read about just financial literacy, and he takes you through this like 6-week process, and it's not going to be 6 weeks, but he expects you to do particular things in the weeks, and they're all very strategic. One is about like trying to pay off debt if you have any debt, trying to open up a savings account, trying to open up a retirement account, and all these different amazing things. Is he's just unlocking these doors for you, and so that's definitely one book that I recommend to all of my friends, everybody who's really trying to get on this like financial literacy journey. Is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. The next one I'd say is The Automatic Millionaire. I forgot what his name is, but that's what it's called. It's called The Automatic Millionaire. It's a blue book with 2 like beach chairs. I forgot the author's name, but it's a really good book. He talks a lot about just setting up different automated systems for your money to grow, so that you don't have to feel like, oh yeah, like if I don't work, I'm not making me a dime. You know what I'm saying? These automated systems will help you make that money, make money, so that's another book. Another one would be by David Ramsey. I think it's called The Total Money Makeover. That's like super, I think it's one of the books that a lot of people know of, but he literally just talks a lot about tackling debt. If you have debt, get that shit out the way. You know what I'm saying? The goal is to be debt free. If you are debt free in America, you are winning. You know what I'm saying? So become debt free at any cost. Become debt free. So those are my 3 top books. Just the 3 for right now, for those who are trying to, just tap into just financial literacy a bit more. But yeah, and you know what you'll find in a lot of these books is people come from their own particular standpoint. You know what I'm saying? They have their own ideas on money. They have their own perceptions. They've been through their own personal experiences. So when reading books and learning about different things when learning about finances from all these different people, take what resonates with you. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel like, oh yeah, no, I have to follow this formula. It's more so like, okay, like, does this resonate with me? How can I use this to build my own financial stability and really just be open to knowledge? Because once you're knowledgeable about finances and just really become literate in that sense, bruh, you on top of the world. You know what I'm saying? You unlocked one of the greatest things you can,
Yeah.
So for sure. Those would be the books, and that's the advice I'd give. Hopefully that wasn't like a full on.
Nah, that's great. It's better than watching these Negroes just stand in a mall, Louis, Gucci, Vuitton, and Mike Kors and all that shit.
Listen.
Fuck all that. All these y'all used all this pandemic money to sit there and buy
PPP
clothes, these PPP loans, and all that type shit.
I don't even know what that is.
Candace, this is no offense to you because you have a legit dream and business.
Yeah.
But most of these people is out here using these damn PPP loans and employment monies, Lash Tech, wig mechanic, all this, that, and the third. It's like everybody don't need, we don't need, I swear you probably could just ping your area and it's probably like 20 people doing the same thing. And it's like, all right, do that. But is there anything unique? What makes you different? What makes you do what is your framework? Are you just doing this for the bread, or is this a business? What is the purpose for this? Yes, you are doing something that you like to do or whatever, but it's just I feel like some people, we also fall into the trope of let me be the next big thing. And it's nothing wrong with being the next big thing, especially if you are motivated and got your shit together and know what you're doing. But it's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. It's nothing wrong with owning stuff. It's nothing wrong with being a manager of stuff or whatever, if that's something you're comfortable with and like to do. But there doesn't need to be the oversaturation of we had everybody does this and this. And if that's all right, if you got legit over here, legit over there, 9-to-5, and then you do your little Lash Tech on the side, all right. All right. But if you're using that as the main source, while your 3 other friends and 2 friend groups removed, they also Lash Techs and they friends also Lash Tech, but also do weave and eyebrows on the side. Your nigga got a barbershop. That's cool if you own it. Yeah. But it's just I think we as a people, we find a way, stick with it, and then don't expand, or
so you're saying we gotta branch out.
So it's you gotta branch out.
Nail techs.
It's not even that. It's just all right, if you're gonna be a nail tech, where's the nail salon?
Yes.
Or if you're gonna be the wig lady, where's the wig store?
Not the wig lady. No, but you're right though.
Because it's we got not to come at that community or whatever, but it's that Asian community, the shit we just named, Asian and Indian community, they own. You walk into them stores, most of them are owning of that. Where it's you got all these Instagram people or independent people do that. And because it's that, you could talk what you want to talk about, nail prices and all that type stuff. If that's what you want to do as a tech or whatever, or an eyebrow lady, get you a shop, get you a few set of people and do that. So that instead of us going into their businesses, we can start to go into our own. and have this store and that store. I understand they live and have a staple within our community and stuff like that, and we appreciate that, and it ain't no problem for it. But it's just like, stop. We can't be so independent with the situation in a dream, because it's like you could do all of that, but it's like, expand yourself to go further with it, to where it's like, even if you fucking selling lemonade, if you just selling lemonade, where are you getting your lemonade into the poppy store or the bodega or the supermarket or whatever? Or even if you and like, everybody want to be a fashion designer too, but it's like, y'all all just selling stuff from Instagram pages and things like that, where it's like, all right, if you're doing that, either get a store, get that store, instead of going to that fucking store we see on YouTube or Instagram and paying thousands of dollars for some shit that's in plastic just because it got a name on it. Yeah, you be that dude or whatever. Don't just sell your shit off the gram, or you get a couple shipments in or whatever. Like, you get the idea, but then you stay centralized with the idea and don't necessarily move. And especially like you said earlier, you get the money, and instead of like making the money work for you, you just making the money.
Yeah, and I think that's very important, Sean. I know so many different people in these particular businesses, industries who, are very limited on, like, they let their business get to a certain extent, and I think they're just comfortable there, But I think what's really important is education and mentorship. I think people just jump into entrepreneurship thinking, boom, I'm about to make me a business and we're going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But once you have like that education behind the fundamentals of a business and how to strategically grow your business, which I'm still, trying to find and trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Because my business is nowhere where I want it to be, both of them. And, there's still a lot of things that I have to learn, but it's the education. I think people just use their own base knowledge and grow their business that way. And that's fine. It's brought them to where they are, but it's important to get mentorship. It's important to outsource and find people who are doing what you're doing and are doing a better job at it, and who have expanded at a different level than you could ever probably imagine expanding to, and see how that can like motivate you to get there. You know what I'm saying? Removing all these probably different limiting beliefs on your business and how far you can go, because that's one big factor too. If you don't believe that your business has the potential to be X amount of big, you're probably just going to stay where you are. And you have that potential. Your business can be huge. You know what I'm saying? Because the same way somebody thought of Microsoft, it's now in existence. The same way you can think about your business being as big as you want it to be. And that's something that I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out who I need to speak with, who I need to find, as another mentor to help me just get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because your education and your knowledge can only get you but so far. So always look for people who are in your industry, who are doing what you do and are doing a better job, and figure out what you can learn from them, what you can take from them, what can you contribute to them. And build a partnership. You know what I'm saying? Build a partnership, build a relationship, build a network out of them, and just really keep going. The sky is not the limit, and you could do just so much. You could do so much. There's enough space for everybody to have a business that can flourish, but you got to make it uniquely yours, and you have to make it something that you love to do and be passionate while doing it.
Yes. And consistency is key, people. I'm tired of seeing the stories where they like, all right, shorty got a late fee, but then they late to their own appointment or whatever, and all that type stuff. This is why we had a conversation of black businesses, man. You gotta be consistent. You can't sit there and have, all right, if shorty late, all right, that's a late fee. Or if you're too late, then I ain't doing it, but I still got your deposit. But then if you late, you just like, all right, sis, I'll be there in like 10, 15 minutes. I had to go do X, Y, Z. No, then that's how people sit there and like go to the next person, or go to the consistent people, or go to the let's just say uncultured people, and then they fuck their head up. So it's like, you just like we gotta have consistency, man. Especially if you are a service entrepreneur or providing that type of business, you have to be consistent because especially if you're trying to get to that mainstream level or even past the hood phase. And I call it the hood phase because some people think they hood famous. You got the restaurant, it's in the hood, everybody fuck with it. You got some change in your pocket, you doing well.
Yeah.
After you reach that status, you got to go up above and beyond. You can't just maintain a hood status. A lot of if I've been in poppy stores, as some of y'all might know them as corner stores or bodegas, I've seen them all my life. And this is one particular store has been there for years. And there was just one time I was in a whole different part of the city, and I seen the guy who's usually at mine that's around my house. And I'm like, if you look at from what I've seen from at least most of my Hispanic friends or just paying attention to them in general, it ain't just that one store. It's that store here in another neighborhood. They got a supermarket down here, supermarket down there. No offense, but that's why people take month-long vacations in the DR. Because you got this bit, you got that store, you got this store, you got the supermarket, you got the little tire shop down here. They multifaceted so that they getting money from left and right, but they consistent with it. And it's granted, most of that stuff is like family oriented too, which also helps a big thing too. But like also if you starting out, if you as long as you can do it by yourself, cool. But you do have to expand your horizon, get a team, all that type stuff. But it's you just gotta get it how you can. That's why it's like me. I know myself right now. I ain't even gonna say it's a struggle doing this, but I know I need to learn. Like I got inspired to do this by just watching other people. And it's like I've learned along the way. But it's like I know we have a lot to go in terms of just fans outreach and just marketing in general. So it's like I know like right now it's just our friends. We know that. We wanted to get to a particular point. I'm not sitting here saying I want to be the next I mean, we do aspire to be the next Joe Rogan, but it's like in theory. But it's like we wanted to get to a particular point, but we know that's a long way down the road. If this is something we want to do, but it's like this is something I want to do on the side, but this ain't like, all right, this is my career move or whatever. This is just something I enjoy doing as a hobby, but it's just like we gotta adjust our mindsets, understand that we can do more as a people, and we can take control of our own situations instead of being the ones being controlled within the situation.
Sure.
Candace, as an entrepreneur, and we kind of talked about being an entrepreneur just now. Do you think that's the best way to achieve, generational wealth?
Is it the best way to achieve generational wealth? I wouldn't say it's the best way, but it's definitely a way. Your business can definitely be an asset the same way that a house can be, the same way that some stocks can be, your business can be passed down, if it's sustaining and if it's a very well-functioning company, it can be passed down to the next generation for them to handle it. I think being an entrepreneur allows you to have the autonomy to make the decisions that you want for your life and the decisions that you want to possibly, have for your future, for the kids that you have, if possible. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of business owners do that. They definitely pass their businesses down to their next generation. That money continues to build and build and build and build. And those kids have new, fresh ideas, and they can help build the business up. So I'm not going to say I'm not one of those people who are like, drop what the fuck you're doing and become an entrepreneur. No, I'm not that person, because I know how hard this shit is, especially if you don't have that grit and that willpower to muscle through all the no's and hell no's and bitch, but what are you doing? So I'm not one of those people, but I would definitely say I definitely encourage everybody to find some way to build self-autonomy, right? Whether that be through you finding ways to make your money work for you, or your money to make money, or you finding something that you're interested in, you love, and finding a way to monetize it. So 100%, I would say it's an amazing opportunity to create generational wealth, but it's not the only one, for sure. And I think, I definitely would love to see, everybody is an entrepreneur, but I know that's not how life works, and, but I definitely would encourage people to tap into it, see if there's something that they might, love to do, and seeing if they can monetize something, because you can monetize literally anything that people find a need for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even if you feel like there's not a need for it, you can find a way to make a need for it. So it's all about your creativity, and it's all about the mindset that you go into it with. And then again, the possibilities are endless. So I definitely say it's an amazing way to create generational wealth, but not the only way.
The guest is off the hot seat, but she's still invited to answer these next few questions. But these are kind of general for all of us. But I want to. Are you seeing the ROS right now?
I'm seeing it, but I feel like we answered most of those.
We answered both of those. I'm gonna answer the third. I'm gonna ask the third one, seeing that we kind of went over those two.
Oh, okay.
But what is something you hate to see people do with money? Whether it's like they buy certain stuff or just how they use their money. And I want to go first before I forget, because the only thing that makes me and Sean kind of talked about this when I went to visit him the other weekend. He took me to the King of Prussia Mall. He took me to the King of Prussia Mall that I'd never seen it before. I just heard of it.
It's crazy ass mall.
It is really big. Yeah, it's a big mall that literally has any store you can think of in Pennsylvania. So I went over there and literally have any store you can think of, even like designer stores or high-end stores.
Yeah.
And
Gucci,
I would say I hate. And I understand if you're a certain tax bracket, you got a certain amount of money, you can spend it on what you want, you can spend it on whatever high-end stuff you want. But I feel like even if I get to that, level of income where it's just like it don't really matter what I spend it on, I feel like I still want to spend it on all these high-end brands. So I guess I hate seeing people spend money on a lot of these designer brands, because I feel like a lot of it you can buy at like cheap stores are a lot cheaper and it looks somewhat the same. And I feel like a lot of those people buy it just for the sake of saying that they have it, not for the sake of saying that they actually.
You're not going to wear fake Jordans though.
I understand that. I'm not saying go and buy like fake stuff, like shoes. Shoes is something I love to spend money on, and I understand, people like spending money on clothes, but I feel like a lot of people who spend money on clothes, especially when it comes to stores like Gucci or Louis Vuitton or, even Fendi or whatever, they're spending they're spending that money for the sake of saying that they have it. They're not spending the money for the sake of saying like they actually like the product, and they actually enjoy the product. Like I love Jordans because I like how they look, and I like the story behind it. Like I like the player behind it. I like the design. I don't buy no Jordans that I wouldn't see myself wearing. There's certain pairs of shoes that like I can appreciate, but I want to buy them for myself because one, they want to look good on me, and two, like it just doesn't do it for me. Like, I feel like a lot of people will buy a lot of these high-end like clothing stores or even shoe places without having no type of like appreciation for what they're buying. They're kind of just buying it for the sake of, yo, I got it, you don't got it. Like I can afford to buy it, you can't afford to buy it. So it's just like it's kind of stupid to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's like a whole bunch of shit wrong with that. And I've never, and I, like you said, I don't see myself either like spending money on some, what is it, like a Fendi movie, whatever bag.
Birkin bag.
Birkin bag. Like them bags be costing X amount of money. You know what I could have done with that? That money could have went on a dividend yield stock that would have made me so much more. So that's where my head is like, okay, that money, like how much money is that bringing me back? And I feel like so there's a couple of things, like a couple comments I would make out on Sydney's thing is one, I saw the craziest shit one time is I was in New York City and I forgot the avenue, but that's where they have all the like, a bunch of Africans lined up selling all the fake Gucci, Louis bags, whatever it is, right? And you want to know what I saw? I saw a bunch of white people. And I'm just saying this because, a lot of people in our community, they already associate whiteness with wealth. Like that's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? And to know that there was a bunch of white people like at these particular like stops buying all these fake like Gucci bags, Louis bags or whatever. And they're calling up their daughters, Susie, like, what bag do you want? We got to hurry up. Karen, what bag do you want? Like they're literally calling everybody in the family up to see what they want from these Africans. And the Africans are selling them the bags to them like $25. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I never thought that this is what they do, and I'm not saying this is for all white people or whatever, but it was like a mass majority of white people purchasing these knockoff brands, and it's sad because, a lot of Black people, they be the ones who be spending X amount of money on the real fucking bags, while these white people is out here buying knockoff shits. Bro. And it's all about how you present it. It's a perception.
Bill Gates don't wear nothing designer. That nigga probably got Hanes jeans on, some fucking $50 what is the Levi jeans on? Probably a $20 polo shirt and some Wilson socks, man. You don't see no CEO dripped out and just designer. And that's because they know how to do stuff with their money and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure Tommy Hilfiger don't even wear his own shit like that to the point where it's like he dripped out or whatever. Most of these brands are owned by like European people that just put shit out. And it's just like they families were famous way before then and they just so happened to make a brand. And now a particular point in time, we was just like, oh, this is a status. And we need to achieve this status.
It's true. And I also read this book one time that says it was more so talking about like just how Black people act. And I'm trying to remember it. I can't get it word for word, but it was basically saying that a lot of the times Black people indulge themselves in like high value things because, we've come from such limiting particular spaces and limiting opportunities. And so we feel like we must indulge ourselves in these things to either present to people this particular lifestyle or this particular way of living. And it's just like, when you do that, you're not living for yourself. You're living for other people. You're living for the impression of other people. And you will die, you will die waiting for somebody to say, yo, bro, you look good. Or you look good. And
it's for me, the thing is, you can look that same way
and still be treated
and shopping at like Macy's or Old Navy.
Even so, I don't like the mindset. I never agree with the mindset of like, impress them or like be like them or like like be the exception or whatever. It's like I was never comfortable with that because like. Even to this, like, and that hurt us so bad because it was like you got the generation right after slavery and then the generation right after that, where it's like, all right, we gotta like conduct ourselves like them so that they can accept us. It don't matter. So it's like, and then some of it still lingers on
They
today
still
to
ain't
where it's
accept
like,
you.
exactly, like where it's like, all right, you gotta act a certain way, speak a particular way, or whatever. If I talk this way, I talk this way. If I don't, I don't. A big recent argument, like before that I had, where it's like my earrings. I'm like, my mom was like, why would you wear them on an interview? And I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
And she's just like the perception. And I'm just like, okay. And I was like, it's not my
Don't wear
problem
them if
that
you
they
get hired.
still. It's not. And my thing is, it's not the matter. If they are the people who still stuck in that light, then that's that's honestly maybe not a place that I want to be, where I need to be or whatever, or a situation that I need to be involved in. So it's just like it, and then you literally walk into workplaces like I'm at my job now. Granted, it wasn't the same stigma or whatever in this interview, but going to this job, but going in this job, I walk on the floor sometimes. It's this dude, he's covered in tattoos, got a neck tat, everything. And I'm sitting here like, I was in the bathroom the other day and I was like, what the fuck don't I got my earrings on? I just don't have my earrings on. And then like sometimes I have shoulder tattoos. So it's like you can only see them if I wear like a very small shirt. And I'll be walking around and I'm like, it was one day I like put on a sweater just to like hide my shit. And I'm just like, in my head, I was like, why the fuck am I hiding my shit? And this dude, I'm like, I have the job already. Why? Like, but then it's like you got that cognitive like shit to where it's like, all right, you got to dress this way to like impress them or fit in or whatever. And it's not, and it's like, I never like fully agreed to that, but it's some shit that we just don't know subconsciously to where it's like, all right, I got to look this way, dress this way or whatever. Or and things like that. I got to be better.
Yeah.
So that we're in reality, shit like that doesn't even matter to them because it's not like, yeah, you have those people who are just like, all right, yes, why are you dressed like that? But then you also just have people who just don't give a fuck. And then it's also just like we're putting ourselves behind the eight ball by thinking about that shit sometimes. I'm not saying come into a interview with a fucking t-shirt, a cardigan, and some jeans on, but be comfortable. Don't sit there and try to impress them or whoever just to do that. Like be yourself and be comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I would say, well, yeah, and then I'll answer the question. But yeah, I just don't like that doing shit like that and seeing stuff like that just doesn't sit well with me because I'm just like, why do we have to acclimate to their shit? And it's also, this is a whole nother episode, but like we acclimate to try to fit in, but so many people in other cultures and shit take our shit. And then they try to spin it to be their shit. And it's like, bruh. Like what the like we did nothing to do. So half of the shit just came out naturally or whatever. And then when we do it, it could be looked at in a different way. But if somebody else do it, then it's like, all right, oh my gosh, they have thought of the next best thing. And it's just like, no.
Yeah.
And then we ourselves don't even give ourselves the best credit when it comes to shit like that or whatever, unless somebody else is trying to copy it or whatever. But like I said, that's a whole nother episode. But to answer the question, what I hate people to see do with their money is also kind of what Sid does. But well, what not Sid does, but what he said, excuse me.
Okay, right.
What I dislike is when people kind of like to my point that I just went off on. When you buy shit for other people instead of you. Where it's like, I got this car because such and such said I couldn't get this car. Or I got these because such and such said I can never get this. Yeah. Now that's a good way to create determination and stuff like that. But sometimes that could be not what you wanted. You was just eager to get that because somebody told you couldn't.
Yeah.
Whereas though, focus on yourself and get things that you need and or want or whatever. But my real answer to this question is I hate seeing children at a particular young age have very expensive technology. That's a petty answer, but I like you should not be 3 with the latest iPad, or you should not be in the 5th grade with a fucking iPhone 10. That's just me, I guess, being old school, but it's just like, bruh, what are you doing with this?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Something that I say I hate to see people do with money. I think it's like I hate to see people. It's like 2 things. I hate to see how or hear how people talk about it, especially like people from like my family. I grew up with my dad and my mom. Like their perceptions of money was kind of skewed, and like the way they would talk about it is like, oh, like they literally would say money is the root of all evil. Like they would say shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And all that does for somebody like young is it just allows them to think the same exact way. So it's like, I wish, but I'm happy I am where I am today. Like if, when I was younger, there were opportunities for me to think a little bit more about money usage and like how money can just benefit me. And I think it's just because my parents had limiting experiences. So they only spoke from what it is that they knew or how it is that money operated for them. But that's one, because I think when you do that, you kind of set people up for also a limiting mindset, especially just like in the household with children around. And this is something that happens all the time, not just in the Black community, but in other communities where money is tight. It's like people view money as like, I don't know, like means to an end. It's like it's like something that you just can't attain or something that you can't sustain. And so they don't look at it in a more positive light. And I think money is just like a person. The way you treat somebody, the way you treat your money is important. And you have to build a relationship with it. You have to cultivate that. And I think, that's missing in a lot of different households. So that's one. Another thing I'd say I don't like to see people do is like spend money, and this is, again, something that I'm learning and, just being very much so intentional about where my money goes and like how it is that I'm spending money, like, seeing people buy lottery tickets and like, what is that really doing for you? All that money.
That's a good one.
Like all the money that you put in lottery tickets, you probably could have put it in like a retirement account, a savings account, something that could have like helped you in the future. And it's like you're chasing after a dream, but you could really build your dream if you really knew what to do with the money. So it's like, yeah. And again, that just comes with lack of knowledge and lack of experience, honestly. So that's definitely what I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wild. I like going in and out of the store all the time. You'll sit there and see these people will buy
lottery tickets, bro.
Mad stuff just to hope to get that $1,000 or $1 million. You'll see motherfuckers buy scratch-offs just to win $10 and they'll be happy, but then they'll use that same $10 to buy more scratch-offs or whatever, or play the numbers. And I'm just like, you know how much money you're probably spending? And some people it's daily. And you buy 2-3 tickets and you just like, you giving them this, like you giving the money right back to them. But it's just also another thing, but we could go on after this, but I also just don't like people buying like cigarettes and shit. To me, that's just like disgusting. It's just, to me, it's just like, if
that is a personal thing.
It is a personal thing. It's not, it is a personal thing. Cause I feel like if you're below the age of like 35, cigarettes should just not be in your system. Like, let me get a pack of Newports. Let's just like, no. All right, that was a generation before us. Even the Juuls, man. I was just like, y'all doing too much now with all that. I used to see people like, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know what was going on, but Juuls was like crack. We don't need to name the institution that we all went to. But like when I would turn over and I would just hear and I'm just like, bruh. And then they'd be like, I'm like, yo, is that deep? I'm like, it's that deep. Y'all like nicotine that bad? But I digress. I digress.
It's a thing. It's really a thing.
And it's crazy. I saw it like outside of school too. Like I'll be outside, I see people just.
Wait, hold on. Did y'all see that one commercial
like,
where it was the Jewel commercial where the girl was like frantically like trying to like find her jewel and all that in her book bag? Shorty drops it in the toilet, and then like her friend that's in the same stall with her sees her, drops it in the toilet, looks at her, and then she just picks it up. Don't even wash it off, and then just like.
I had never seen.
And I'm like,
I've never seen that.
But that wouldn't surprise me though.
It was another. It was another one. It was a girl. The coach was like, "Yo, we get ready to leave. The bus coming." Her friend was like, "Yo, come on, come on." She was like, "I need the jewel. I need the jewel." The bus left her, where she's sitting on the side of the building, like, "Oh, this is out of hand." But some people really like do it like that, and it's out of control. But. Oh, a whole nother episode, but get to the segments there.
So, we have a little segment on the show. This is where we introduce various scenarios. What did we call it? Oh, we changed the name. It used to be called Sid Scenarios. We felt it was too generic, so we changed it to What You About to Do. The questions for all of us, but we're gonna ask you first since you're our guest. So you're given a briefcase of money, $1 million.
Okay.
$1 million. The only caveat, because people say they get money like, oh, you're gonna put this people on, they're gonna put this people on, you're gonna help out my family, all that stuff. That's all cute. That's all well, and that's genuine. That's nice, but. Let's imagine you didn't have to, take care of no one. You ain't got to put no one on. You just got to worry about you, yourself, and whatever the third word is. But you only got to worry about yourself. What are 3 things you're going to do for yourself? You have $1 million.
You said I'm just...
Yes, it's only for yourself. It's only for your well-being. So what you about to do with $1 million? What's 3 things you about to do for yourself with $1 million?
And I can't include anyone, any at all.
No, it is only for your self promotion or your self well-being.
If I got $1 million right now, what am I doing with it? That's funny. I actually was just talking about this with my brother. If I got that much money, I would definitely invest in real estate. Because I'm trying to, again, just make money work for me. And I definitely see that being one way. And I definitely want a tangible, like something tangible, like something I can see, like an asset that I can feel, see, all that. So definitely real estate. Secondly, $1 million. I'm trying to think what else I'd do with that.
It's crazy because $1 million really isn't that much.
Yeah, it's not.
Whoa.
Depending on what you.
No, like in this day, I don't mean to say like if I had $1 million, I'd be like, whoa. Like if someone gave me $1 million right now, I'd cry.
Let's say.
But I'm saying like in terms of in general.
Yeah,
it's not that much money.
If I decided to buy like a 3-family home out here at minimum,
probably paying that much, if not more.
Not really that much, but I'm looking at a good like 400, maybe 400,000.
Maybe
like No. Up here in Bridgeport, New Haven area, Waterbury.
Yeah, somebody would in Bridgeport be like, yeah, you 800,000. I'm sorry, but Bridgeport to me is mostly like duplexes or 2-family homes. I feel like I've barely seen just like regular home just in Bridgeport where it's just like home, not a home that could be 2 to 3 homes or whatever, just a straight home,
like single family,
not a street full of driveways and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like I feel like you gotta go to different parts of Bridgeport just to see like regular houses and stuff. But
Yeah.
somebody would say close to $1 million for house in
No,
Bridgeport.
the house is maybe right now. It's just right now at least because like I've just been looking because my boyfriend's trying to get a house. Well, he's gonna get a house soon, and so like looking at the different prices now and the type of market we're in now, that's what you're seeing for sure. But yeah, so that would definitely be one. I think secondly, I would probably like try to invest in my like health and well-being. So one of my things is like I really want to meet a holistic doctor. So finding a doctor that, can really just give me natural remedies and like help me just be a better person all on the inside, so really just finding that, investing in that. And I'd also like probably book me like a 2-month trip where I'm like traveling to different places at a time. Yeah, so that would be that's probably what I do with some money. I invest the money, travel with the money, and fix myself with the money, like on a more health and well-being kind of thing.
Wow.
Okay. Mr. Hall.
Simple. I don't have that much student loan debt, so I pay that off. I would buy discounts is one thing. I'll buy me a Nissan Maxima and a BMW X6 baby blue.
Particular.
Wait, time out. The BMW I get, a Nissan Maxima?
Bro, first of all, this is the car that I was either about, if certain things went left a couple of weeks ago, I was about to get that car or get the Altima. So it is what it is. That's just my next car, period. The BMW is just a play car for real. So it is what it is. But I would like that. The third thing. Well, the third thing is I would probably take a big ass trip that involves culinary school. Because like travel and like culinary school in some way, because I'm not all of that what I just said, the first two things, that's not even $100,000.
No,
that's nowhere near $100,000. Well, actually it's probably like, for both it's probably $200 because the X6 is like 60,000-70,000. The Maxima is like almost 40 depending on what you modify to it. And
you still got 900.
I got 40 in debt. So
you got 800 left.
Yeah. So I could save after the trip. I'm not gonna take no crazy ass trip that's worth $10,000. So the rest of the money I could invest, save, do whatever. But the third thing, I would take a trip that involves something that like deals with like culinary school and stuff like that, because that is one of my goals, to go to culinary school. But if I could add traveling in the mix of going to culinary school, that would be awesome.
That's dope.
So, Mrs. Sharfo, aka Sid the Kid, whatever. What you doing?
If we were talking about right now,
you gonna buy a Jordan house with all the Jordans in?
I would not. First of all, as cool as it would be to look inside of Jordan's house, I wouldn't buy it for myself because it has nothing to do with it. Everything is built for that nigga. When that house was built, it was built for Michael Jordan. It's not built for no one else. There's no premise of owning it or even having a share of it. It's just like it's
Some
depreciating.
People are that obsessive.
It's depreciating every day, to be honest with you. And I'm pretty sure he regrets doing all that. But personally, if it was right now, I would probably. Well, I'm not in med school now, so if
you could buy your way into med school, Shane.
I mean, I could pay for it. I wouldn't be able to pay for an acceptance.
You can,
unless like 75% of that was like, hey,
you could.
I'll add a wing. Just let me in.
What was that show?
Like
I forgot.
It's like I want to do that, and I feel like I wouldn't feel right just be like, yo, I paid my way to get in here.
Look, bro, you can still be a doctor, and you just do like 2 months. That's all the shorty did. She did like 3 months. Put
But
a girl through school and all that.
I would probably pay off. I would probably save part of it for the sake of med school.
That's not a thing, though. You got to do a thing.
I'll do a thing. Okay, well,
you obviously can save it. Like, we're all not about to just spend $1 million with these 3 things.
I'd probably buy a new car. Even though, like, I don't really. I'm not
get
really.
An Aston, a Ferrari.
Probably get some type of Benz. Probably get a Benz. I think it was S550.
Don't get a G-Way.
I'd probably get the S550. Probably black that joint out. I'd probably take a long ass trip. I'd probably say.
Would you go back home?
Yeah, I actually never thought about that. I would go back home. I'd go back home for like a month. I'd go back home for. I think a month would be long.
A month.
I feel like a month would be long enough for me to like learn the language like fluently.
A month?
Yeah, because like I already know I understand my like if someone were to speak to me in it, I could like decipher what is being said. It's just like when I try to speak it myself, like I can speak somewhat. So I don't have the dialect because obviously I was born there, but I was raised here for the majority of my life.
Right.
So I feel like if I stayed there for a month and really had to be, in the community, I would feel like I'd figure it out in a matter of a month, or if not 2 months. But yeah, I'd probably go home for like a month, if not a little bit longer. So yeah, I'd probably go back home for like a month. I'd buy a new car. And then third thing,
get that crib.
Yeah, I'd probably buy a house. Buy a house, yeah. Even if it wasn't for like sake of like, renting part of it out, like I just would want to buy a house for myself. Just for the sake of like owning something that, I want an apartment for myself, like at the moment. But I'm like obviously like I'm not prolonging it, but I'm just it's like down the line. I don't mean like mad far, like probably the next year or something like that, because I want to get a new job.
Join the club.
Be in a certain position before I get an apartment. Because I could get one now, but I'm at the point where it's like I could get one now and be able to pay, for everything. But I also want to be able to do certain stuff for myself.
Yeah.
Like if I did get an apartment now, I want to be able to do some of that stuff. Now I'd be confined to like, paying rent, making sure our bills are paid. And I would kind of be like sacrificing certain stuff I want to do. So I'd rather own a house where it's like, even if I don't live in there right away or whatever, like once I, finish school or do whatever and finish my training, I'm, physician. I can go back there, start a family.
That's a lot of money.
So,
especially if it's a fixer-upper.
Yeah, and it's just better for the sake of like, when you rent an apartment, you're not really paying towards anything. Kind of just.
Hey, man. Hey.
Now, I'm not saying like it's like I'm not.
This lifestyle is beautiful. Okay?
I'm not coming at you.
I don't want a house right now.
You just got,
it's still
financially
beautiful.
Stable job.
I don't care if I'm paying people.
And like, if it was me, if I got a job, I'd move out too. So it's like I can't hate, but if I had that, liquid money,
I still wouldn't buy a house. I still wouldn't buy a house.
I would only buy it if it was I would only buy it if it was like, some dreams.
You got to be in a certain space for that. And I feel like I'm not like everybody sit there is like, oh, you buy real estate, you do what you got to do. No, you need a certain mind state to do that, because it's not me. I'm the type of person, I'm not a handyman. Yes, people think, oh, you're an engineer, you can fix shit. It doesn't necessarily work to that degree. Yes, I could think about shit and probably fix it, but it's not, I'm not a plumber, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a carpenter. I can't do all that type of shit. We
That would be
are no
really if there
longer
was a
raised that
fixer upper.
way to just do trades and shit just out the ass anymore.
That would really be more so if it was like a fixer upper.
That's what I'm saying, but I don't have
But
the
you will
money
always
to.
have like plumbing problems. Like houses
Yeah,
come with issues. Yeah, you got to be willing to either
but it's
learn to
like
fix them or pay for them.
exactly, and it's like I'm not in that. Yes, I could have did that, but I know I wouldn't have wanted to live or buy no house. One, we're not. This is not the best time to buy a house. Two, even if you bought a house that could fit, let's just say you and another person, but it's like separate, so it's like two family. And like you, a lot of people's like, all right, you could get them to basically pay your mortgage. So it's like they're paying you and you use your money for other entities and all that type of shit. That's cool in theory. But now you got people 30 days, they could squat and not pay you because of the COVID shit and all that type stuff. And just even in general, outside of that, it's hard to find a good tenant. And then even so, you would have to orchestrate the place to where it is good enough to do that, because you're going to have a whole lot of money to find that place that's like moving ready, get the other person in there moving ready too. So it's like, that's a lot of money for that. So it's like, I'm like, yes, I'm cool with doing that later on in life when it comes to real estate, because I know that's time, determination, money. But now I'm just like, all right, I have things that I enjoy. I just want something that I can come home and be calm to. It's not I orchestrate it to a point where it's not a hefty payment or whatever. And it's not something that I'm just like, it ain't something that's just rent heavy and I still got to do mad shit. Like I said, I calculate all this. All of my moves were calculated before they even happened. I got fortunate with certain things and it just played out well, but this is comfortable for me versus, yeah, I might be paying a whole lot less a month, but the rest of that could be going to fucking broken pipe, the bolts and stuff for this, or I gotta hire this man, I gotta hire that man, or and stuff like that. I gotta get a painter, I still gotta get furniture, all that shit. So it's like, that's why I chose the path that I chose, where it's like earlier in the conversation, I was like, I'm a year or two out from real estate. I wouldn't have to be like, all right, cool, I have enough money in my pocket to be like, all right, get somebody, get a relative or something. We go with this house. We get the house, we get somebody to fix it, whatever. Because one of my uncles, he basically does that. He flips houses. So I'm like, all right, talk to me in like 2-3 years. And we could buy something and then we could do that. And then go about it that way. But I'm like, now, let me just be on my P's and Q's, get what I want, do what I like to do.
No, yeah, that makes sense. And even in the book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, he talks about that. He talks about like renting versus, paying a mortgage. It's, like I agree 100%. It's all about where you are mentally and if you're ready and able to take that on, because it is a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a lot. And no, that, for some people renting, it does make a little bit more sense, and it does save you some time and money, because you're not having to pay for X, Y, and Z. You're not having to mow the lawn. You're not having to do all these other things because the building manager just takes care of it. So yeah, it all depends on who you are and, definitely what you got going on. But I highly encourage people, like you said, 2 to 3 years, you definitely will look into that, because I think home ownership is just dope in itself,
Gotta have some stuff to pass down.
Yeah, I would really buy it for the sake of like, because at least from what I'm trying to do in terms of physician, I go to school for 4 years, and then I gotta go to residency. Now, residency, I don't know where I would go. Like ideally you have a place you want to go, but like you have a choice, but you also don't have a choice. So it's like I could want to go back to Boston for training, but I could end up in New York. So it's like I could buy a house in Boston, but I could end up in New York. So it's like if I buy a house in Boston, I'm kind of asked out if I end up in New York. So it's like I would really buy some shit if it was just like later in life, like I want to live here. Like say even if it was like for part of the year, like maybe it's like summer house, or you know, even if like I have training, I want to move there. Like you can just buy that, and then for your training, you get it's $1 million, man. Like so, it's like
no, you talking real shit right now. You're not talking about the $1 million no more.
I'm talking about like say like if I wanted, if I was given the money now, it's like okay, like, and part of me was like, all right, after all my training, I want to live here. So whether that's Boston or whether that's like Philadelphia or Connecticut. So it's like if I have that liquid money at the time and I can pay the house and be comfortable, and I want to live here after I'm all done with all of that, I'm finally positioned, might as well just get it out the way. And then say if I got trained somewhere else, I would just get an apartment.
He said he a 6-figure nigga. That's what I heard. I'm just saying. But we've gathered enough of your time, people. I believe this was a gem. We dropped some knowledge out here. We all 23. We all got that much experience, but we got experience like that. That's a double entendre, right? Well, it's not double entendre. It's just a mixed up statement. But we got the knowledge. We got the knowledge. We're young. We have a whole life ahead of us to make a whole bunch of other money and stuff like that. But use these words wisely, especially from a young entrepreneur like our guest here today. So take heed, take this information, use it however you need to, and go about it. And I would like to thank our guest for coming on, and sharing her experience and her knowledge, because it's bountiful for people our age to understand this and people younger to know this as well. So thank you.
Of course. Thank y'all for having me. This was great.
Do you got any plugs or shout outs you want to put in so that when people come back and look on this episode, they'll see how famous you are and stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah. So y'all can follow She Is Art on Instagram at She Is Art Media. We're currently in the process of just reconstructing our page and adding some fun and exciting things. So definitely follow us over there. You can check out our website where we will have various articles just centering Black women written by our interns. So sheisartmedia.com. If you are interested in empanadas and want to check that out, you can definitely check me out on Instagram at gem, I believe, _empanadas. And I'm going to start trying to ship frozen empanadas. So that'll be something dope. People can get them frozen, fry them up at their house.
Moving out the hood phase. That's what I'm talking about.
Facts, you know what I'm saying? People from wherever be wanting them. So I'm like, I gotta try to get it to them some way, somehow. So this is it. So I'm gonna do it. And you know, I'll have that process in the works real soon. So, you know, follow us there. And yeah, if you ever want to connect with me, you can just follow me on my regular Instagram page at Candace Peterkin. But nonetheless, this was awesome. Thank y'all. This was dope. You know, I can't wait to see how far y'all go in this. This is awesome. I think, you know, just having different people come on here and share their knowledge, share their wisdom, only just makes for a better community. So keep on doing what y'all doing.
It does. Thank you. We appreciate the love. We'll show you love as well. But that has been another episode of B.A.G Convos, aka the B.A.G Podcast. And we'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Yes, Candace, this is the end of the episode. I'm going to keep recording, though, because I want to ask you a question that is for the cutting room floor that I just thought about. And also, too, I was one of those people who I was like, damn, that empanada look good as fuck. But what I did want to ask you was, how do you pay people or go about paying people?
For Shoes Art.
Yes.
So right now we have been contracting different companies to create content for them. And so a good percentage comes out of that. We get some of our sources of funding from different pitch competitions that I have going on, from different grant opportunities. And right now I'm actually looking for some investors. And I'm like, this close, just praying and hoping that everything falls through. But yeah, definitely investors. And Jumping Artists hasn't really grown to the capacity where we're like hiring people, but for sure, want to get there and we'll get there. And I plan to just do the same exact thing. There's always money, somewhere for a business, for some industry. So for sure, just finding those particular outlets, looking for people to network with, to open different doors for you, because that's how we are creating content for other companies, and generating revenue that way. So for sure, that's one of the ways. But this investment route is definitely something that I'm looking into and hoping and praying comes through sooner than later.
All right. Well, I mean, thank you for that. But yeah,